Question number 1. With reference to the Sanchar Sathi, consider the following statements. 1. It is available as a mobile application as well as a website. 2. It is a citizen-centric initiative of Ministry of Defense. 3. It provides different aspects related to end-user security, telecom and information security. So the correct answer for this question is B, that is statement. The center has asked smartphone companies in India to pre-install a state-developed cybersecurity application that allows users to report fraudulent calls and messages and stolen mobile phones. Users should not be able to delete the applications. The department has told the smartphone companies it has insisted that all new devices sold by manufacturers come pre-installed with Sanchar Sathi applications and software update to be issued to phones that have already been sold with the applications made available with it. Question number 2. Ossification is the process of A. Blood clotting, B. Digestion of proteins, C. Formation of cartilage, D. Bone formation. So the correct answer for this question is D, that is ossification means bone formation, and bone ossification is used to determine the age of an adult. That means if a crime has been committed by some adults and when he try to themselves as a underage, then bone ossification technology is used to determine their age. Question number 3. The Meissner effect is A. Expulsion of magnetic fields from a superconductor, B. Increase in resistance below the critical temperature, C. Phenomenon of ferromagnets losing magnetism when heated, D. Magnetic field trapped inside a normal conductor. So the correct answer for this question is A, that is expulsion of magnetic fields from a superconductor. This is known as Meissner effect. Question number 4. With reference to the Vikram 1 rocket, consider the following statements. 1. It has been developed by Skyroot Aerospace, a private space startup. 2. It is a 4-stage rocket that aims to cater to the small satellite market with rapid and cost-effective launch capabilities. 3. It has a 3D printed engines. So the correct answer for this question is D, that is all the statements are correct. That is Vikram 1 rocket is developed by Skyroot Aerospace, a private space startup, and this is a 4-stage rocket that aims to cater to a small satellite market. Currently ISRO have a SSSB, that is a small satellite launch vehicle, which is used to carry smaller weight satellites into the Earth's orbit. It has 3D printed engine. That means 3D technology is used, technology is used to develop these engines. Question number 5. The terms nebula is described as A. A cluster of young stars, B. A stellar remnant after a supernova, C. A giant cloud of dust and gases in space, D. A rapidly rotating neutron star. So the correct answer for this question is C, that is a giant cloud of dust and gases in space. These giant cloud of dust and gases give rise to stars. First in the space became nebula, then the nebula combine and consolidate and become a giant star. And when giant star dies, when giant star is bigger than Chandrasekhar limit, then it will be red giant, and if it will be smaller than Chandrasekhar limit, that it became dwarf star. And later on this red giant explode, which is known as supernova explosion, and after that these explosion, the star becomes black holes or a neutronal star or a pulsar. NASA has recently released new image of NGC 6537 as Spider Nebula, showing features never seen before. Each of these lobes appears as a closed bubble-like structure. Question number 6. With reference to solar flares, consider the following statements. 1. They are sudden explosions of energy caused by the rapid release of magnetic energy stored in twisted magnetic field near sunspots. 2. A solar flare is always accompanied by a coronal mass ejection. 3. X-class flares can cause global radio blackouts and expose astronauts to damaging radiation. So the correct answer for this question is A. That is incorrect statement for this is A. That is, the statement 2 is incorrect because solar flare and coronal mass ejection often occur together. They are distinct phenomena. Solar flare can erupt alone without corresponding CME. Statement 1 is correct because solar flares are defined as intense bursts of radiation coming from release of magnetic energy associated with sunspots. Sunspots means if the plasma of this flash of the sun is ejected, then this become black in color and a feature like a spot appeared here. So this is called sunspot. And solar flare defined as intense burst of radiation coming from release of magnetic energy associated with sunspots. So solar flare is associated with sunspots. The magnetic fields become twisted and stressed, magnetic reconnection releasing massive energy. Statement 2 is incorrect. Solar flares are classified as A, B, C, M, X based on their peak X-ray brightness, intensity or flux measured in watts per square meter. Each letter represents a tenfold increase in energy output. That means if solar flare A is ejected, then its energy will be less than B, and B's energy will be less than C, and C's energy will be 10 times greater than the C. So this is the formula. Statement 3 is correct because X class flares are the most intense. They can trigger radio blackouts. R scale disrupts navigation system on Earth and pose significant radiation risk to the satellites. That means satellites that are orbiting Earth, communication satellites, these solar flare can damage them. Question number 7. Consider the following statements regarding opium poppy cultivation in India. 1. India is the only country in the world that produces licit opium gum for pharmaceutical use. 2. The cultivation of opium poppy is regulated under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. 3. Opium poppy is a kharif crop that requires high humidity and waterlogged soil conditions for latex production. So the how many of the above statement is correct? That is, statement B is correct. Statement 1 is correct because most legal opium production utilizes the concentrate of poppy straws method. India holds a unique status as the only country that legally produces and exports opium gum latex extracted manually for pharmaceutical processes under strict UN supervision. Statement 2 is correct. All activities related to the cultivation, production and manufacturing of opium in India are strictly regulated by the central government under the Narcotic Drugs and Psychotropic Substances Act 1985. Statement 3 is incorrect because opium poppy is a winter crop, rabi crop. That means it's not a kharif crop, it's a rabi crop sown in winter, not a kharif crop. It requires cool, dry region with low humidity. That's why opium is mainly cultivated in the Himalayan countries or states like in Afghanistan is the major producing country of opium, major opium producing country, and also the Pakistan and India. This is Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Iran is known as a Golden Crescent because these are the top country producing opium. And this side on the India's east side, Laos, Cambodia, and Laos, Cambodia, and Myanmar is considered as Golden Triangle because they are also famous for opium production. Question number 8. Which one of the following best describes the Afar Triple Junction? A. A strategic naval checkpoint between the Persian Gulf and the Gulf of Oman. B. A dry junction point of borders between Ethiopia, Kenya, and Somalia known for piracy. C. A region in the Himalayas where the Eurasian, Indian, and Burmese plate converge. D. A meeting point of three tectonic rifts, the Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and East African rifts. So the correct answer for this question is D. Afar triple junction, also known as Afar triangle, is associated with the tectonic rifts of Red Sea, Gulf of Aden, and East African rifts. So this is the location of Afar rifts, also known as Afar triangle, spread between countries like Somalia, Ethiopia, Eritrea. These are the three rift region of three. This is the region of where three rift valleys meet. This is Rift Valley of Africa, and this is Red Sea Rift Valley. This is Gulf of Aden Rift Valley. These three rift valleys meet at Afar Triangle, and this is tectonically active zone of Africa. This is Red Sea. As you can see, this is Arabian Peninsula, Saudi Arabia. This is Yemen, Gulf of Aden. This is Indian Ocean. There are four countries in Horn of America, that is Somalia, Eritrea, Djibouti, Ethiopia. These are the four countries in Horn of Africa. Here you can see it's a Lake Victoria. There are numerous lakes here formed due to the rifting of this African region. This rift valley is known as Rift Valley of Africa. This part of Africa uh, is breaking up, and in the future geologists have predicted that this region of the Africa will be broken from main Africa continent. Question number 9. Consider the following statements about the Somali and Nubian plates. 1. They are tectonic blocks resulting from the splitting of African plate. 2. The divergence between them is causing the formation of East African Rift Valley. 3. If the current geological processes continue, the Somali plate will eventually fuse with the Arabian plate. So the correct answer for this question is B. That is only a statement 3 is incorrect, and a statement 1 and a statement 2 is correct. That means the African plate is a splitting into two, the larger Nubian plate, often just called as African plate, and the smaller Somali plate. The statement 2 is correct. The driving force of the East African rift is the divergence moving apart of these two plates at a rate of millimeter per year. That means these are the divergence plate boundary. There are three types of plate boundary in there are three types of plate boundary, that is convergence plate boundary, divergence plate boundaries, and transform plate boundaries. So the Great African Rift Valley is divergent plate boundary. Statement 3 is incorrect. The progressive divergence may rupture the crust entirely, allowing seafloor spreading to create a new ocean basin, effectively separating the Somali plate from the mainland Africa. It does not suggest fusion with the Arabian plate. Rather, the Afar triangle junction dynamics imply these plates are all moving away from each other. That means divergence. This is the Afar triangle, which we discussed in previous question, and this is the Somali plate. This is Somalia, so Somali plate and Nubian plate, these all are spreading away from each other. Question number 10. With reference to the medicinal use of GLP-1 receptor agonists, which of the following statement is incorrect? A. They were originally developed for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. B. They are included in WHO essential medicines list for the diabetes management. C. They work solely by increasing the burning of calories in the body without affecting appetite. D. Their use helps in improving cardiovascular outcomes and kidney complications. So the incorrect answer for this question is C. That is they work solely by increasing the burning of calories in the body without affecting appetite. So this statement is incorrect. Other three are correct because they originally developed for the treatment of type 2 diabetes. Type 1, there are two types of diabetes, type 1 and type 2. They are included in WHO essential medicines list. Statement C is incorrect statement.